What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. Hey, want to thank you all for surviving the winter blast here in greater, the greater Midwest, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, everywhere in between. Hey, we've got some news that came out obviously yesterday. Lions got a new OC, and it brought a whole lot of questions across the fan base, across maybe even the NFL. What the heck is going on with Detroit? Drew, Drew Pretzing, he's probably not what most fans thought they were going to get as the Detroit Lions' new OC, but it doesn't mean that MCDC didn't know what he was doing. We're going to break it on down now that we've had some time to kind of analyze why the Lions went one direction versus the other. I do think, though, Lions might have just hired this gentleman, as you see on the screen, as far as your new OC. That's right, Dr. Evil Drew Pretzing is the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions for the foreseeable future. And yes, maybe, just maybe, Big Drew has got an evil plan what to do with the Detroit Lions. We're going to get into that after 5 headlines now. To be fair, it will be a part of 5 headlines now, since a lot of the news for the 5 headlines kind of segues into the main topic of the day. But he may be a bit of an evil genius after all. He might not be Mike McDaniel, but after talking to different people, with at least some idea why the Lions made the selection, one guy over the other, I think we're all going to be able to agree. MCDC went with a plan, went with his gut. And you know what? As a coach, I can say this next part. He is going to be tied to the Detroit Lions in the future if this hire works. If not, it's probably going to blow up in his face, and it might be the end of the MCDC era in Detroit. All right, before we get into the 5 headlines now, the main top of the day, everything in between. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 52 subs away from hitting 16,200. If you can assist with that, I'll give you a crisp, clean high five. Probably just not driving over to find you to do that, though, today because of the weather. Also, if you got a half-second time, free of charge, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 more. Thumbs up or likes. Last, never least, though, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, where I reside and can personally help you, then go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. Have a conversation with me. Let me be able to help you with 30 years of experience, how to make sure nobody overcharges you. Make sure you get the property at the right price. Whether you're listing, selling, buying, anything in between, commercial property, new house, old house, vacant land, you get it. If it's real estate wise, I can help you out. If you're not in the state of Michigan, I can still help you. Just got to do things a little bit differently. All right, with all that done, settled away, let's get this show kicking off and diving into. I think we're going to all be questioning and wondering about this hire till maybe we find out a little bit more about the hire. Let's get into 5 headlines now. Sometimes I have that music a little too loud. All right, let's go with 5 headlines now. With new OC hire, Detroit Lions fans understandably may have some questions. MLive.com by Ben Ravenmore. So again, the main topic of the day is going to be mostly covered by the 5 headlines. Now, different people chiming in with it. You knew a whole lot of people were definitely caught off guard by this hire, including the fan base, the media, etc. What we're going to find out from Ben Raven. Hey, Drew Pretzing, we get it. He's got a ton of experience. The fact that he's had 2 or 3 seasons as an offense coordinator, at least to me, that's a big plus over John Morton. No disrespect to John Morton. Obviously, NFL circles consider him an offensive mind they want to have around. Sean Payton waited all of like 15 seconds to hire him once he was formally fired by the Detroit Lions. So let that sink in. Sean Payton knows a thing or two about coaching football, offense, and he thinks that, hey, having him around back in Denver was a big plus. Detroit Lions had a ton of targets that they had in mind for the offensive coordinator spot. You guys all know the names: Zach Robertson, Mike McDaniel, Mike Khalif, Arthur Smith, Brian Dable, Joe Brady, Todd Moken, Thomas Brown. I mean, you get it. There's a whole lot of people that wanted to be the Detroit Lions OC. Why did Dan Campbell rush over, or at least per M Live and Ben Raven? There's a deep dive into why he thought the Lions got it right here. And after trying to watch some film, I knew some stuff about the hire. Remembering some of the games from this year. To be fair, I didn't remember stuff from the years prior, but just using this year and then getting some confirmation from M Live, Ben Raven, I think here's what we're all going to be able to say. MCDC looked at how he attacks the running game first. That's why he wanted Big Drew in the house. Who's in the house? Big Drew's in the house. That's right. He is kind of a mad scientist, an evil genius, if you will, when it comes to the ground game. Detroit Lions, MCDC's been very buoyant in our face about it since the moment he's hired. He wants to control the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively. What does Drew do? He makes sure the ground game is sound. I do think the Arizona Cardinals probably have a little bit of an underrated offensive line. I do think the Lions, potentially, by the time next season hits, will have a better offensive line than the Arizona Cardinals in all the way across the board, all 5 spots. You also look at the weapons the Lions have on the ground game. It's no disrespect to the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, they do have some NFL players that are pretty good. I don't think they're anywhere near the Detroit Lions good, though. I think, and we did a separate video on it yesterday once the hire was announced and made. Got Hutch Jr. talking to you guys, spending some more time researching things, talking to people over the Arizona Republic and just, Arizona fans. Here's what I think we're going to be able to say. The Lions are making a commitment to the ground game with this hire. Ben Raven, if you want to check out the article, he more or less comes to the same conclusion, but there will be more to the story in the show. All right, next one here. Ahmed Hassanine's time on Lions practice squad has him ready for 2026. Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press. Big Dave went over and talked to Big Ahmed Hassanine, and yes, had a long conversation. Talked to also a couple of coaches who went off the record and said Hassanine made big strides this year. We all knew when he was drafted he was going to be a project, and I know that's probably a 4-letter word to most Lions fans when it comes to draft picks. Projects. We saw it with Manu. We saw it with Broderick Martin, yada, yada, yada. The only thing I can say is per Detroit Lions coaching staff and what Dave Burkett was able to uncover, sounds like the Lions might have hit on this one. Just because some other ones like Hendon Hooker or Broderick Martin didn't pan out in the past doesn't mean the next guy can't pan out. I'm still hopeful about Giovanni Manu, but just focusing on Hassanine. You guys all see the motor the kid's got, the passion, the panache, plus the athleticism, the size, stuff you can't teach, right? It does sound like he has a real legitimate shot. Come next year, if he pans out in training camp, he'll be on the 53-man roster. And anytime you can add another big athletic body that you don't have to, point and prod and push or whatever to go out there and do work at a high level and high pace, somebody that's self-motivated, you probably got something as a coach there. The problem, I can speak from my experiences only here, when you as a coach have to motivate the player day in and day out to get them to do stuff they don't want to do, that's probably not a good player to have around. You probably need to move on from that. Players that aren't self-motivated, want to come in and get out of practice or whatever as fast as they can, they're probably not taking you anywhere. But Hassanine's not that individual. Somebody that he's going to be 15 minutes early to being 15 minutes early, so a half hour early. I'm going to stay late. That's a good building piece to be around. And Dave Burkett, if you want to check out the story, I think he's spot on with it. Ahmed Hassanine, he might not be some of the past projects Lions had. He might be the one that wins. All right, Detroit Lions predicted cut longtime franchise cornerstone. The sporting news with this one, not exactly breaking news for anybody here, but it does sound like Taylor Decker, if he doesn't retire, The Lions are going to move on from him. Let that sink in. I think the Lions learned a lot from the Ragnow situation this past year. I totally understand why they gave Ragnow every bit of time to come to his own mind and figure out, does he want to be here? Does he not want to be here? I've gone on record all season long saying that was probably the biggest slap to the face to the potential of the team that happened, unfortunately, because when Ragnow ultimately came to his decision, free agency was gone, the draft was gone, and that left the Lions offensive line in a no-win situation. If you don't have an offensive line in the NFL, I'll throw it out there in college too, the chance of you having a sustainable running attack, passing attack for any quarterback, any running back is probably not that great. Lions have got some good pieces on the offensive line. They don't have the big pieces they need. Because of that, per the Sporting News, it does sound like the Lions already have pen ready for paper that if Taylor Decker doesn't retire, he will not be a Detroit Lion because they do not want to go through a similar experience. And I don't blame him. I think if he's going to commit, he has to assure everybody with that organization, I'm in it to win it this upcoming year. If he can do that, he'll probably be here next year. If he can't, if there's any kind of question, Taylor Decker's time in Detroit and probably the NFL is about done. All right, Detroit Lions staffer to coach the Senior Bowl quarterbacks, SB Nation, story by Jeremy Risman. Is this the biggest news out there? No, but we do want to pay attention to it for one simple reason. As Jeremy Risman points out, the Lions have an inside track, you could say, with some other quarterback options that are going to be out there, getting ready for the draft, etc. Lions offensive assistant Marquise Tusiopo, boy, I killed that name, and sorry about that. He's going to be taking over a lot of the reps with the quarterbacks during the Senior Bowl. He's going to be able to give sensitive information, obviously, to the Detroit Lions scouting department, draft department, about some of the quarterbacks. Could the Lions make the move on a quarterback? I won't be surprised. I don't think it's going to be in the top 3-4 rounds, but maybe in the later rounds, the Lions could dress a backup, a future developmental quarterback. I get they tried with Hendon Hooker. Just because you missed one shot or one kick or one pass, whatever sports analogy you're going to use, doesn't mean you never try it again. Hendon Hooker, if he would have panned out, I think we all get it. He probably would have added more stability to the backup quarterback spot. I don't think he was going to, unless they really hit on something, was going to replace Jared Goff. But the Lions, if they want to be forward thinking, if they have any kind of thoughts that Jared Goff 3 years from now, 4 years from now, isn't going to be the Lions quarterback, then maybe they want to start addressing it in the later rounds of the draft. We'll see what shakes out with this one. Despite strong fan interest, Lions did not see Mike McDaniel as a fit. A to Z Sports by Mike Payton. We'll dive into this more probably throughout this show and maybe even during the week. If from talking to, as you can see in the 5 headlines, multiple different stories, and then actually talking to people, like I said, with the Arizona Republic, people that cover the Arizona Cardinals. I reached out a couple of friends of mine that are Cardinals fans as well, just trying to be as nonpartisan about the hire for Drew Pretzing as possible. Here's what everybody says. Controls the ground game, and the passing attack is mostly based on a 2 tight ends, 2 running back sets. Let that sink in, Detroit Lions fans. Lions want to control the ground game. We want Dave Montgomery. We want Gibbs out there at least the vast majority of the time together or, interchangeable parts. Lions also want a deeper passing attack with Jameson Williams, Isaac Tesla probably taking a lot of those deep shots. Does this sound like, when you find out that information, and that's what Drew Pretzing does on a regular basis with the Cardinals in the past, does that sound like a fit for MCDC's mentality? The answer for me, at least, is yes. Mike McDaniel sounds like MCDC really liked him, enjoyed the interview, knew stuff about him going into the interview. Obviously, they've coached against each other. They've known each other for a long time. Just didn't think that the Lions offense would be the type of offense MCDC wants for the NFC North team. Somebody that controls the line of scrimmage, controls the ground game. In a nutshell, he thought McDaniel would be more pass-friendly than run-heavy, and that's where the great divide happened. Talking to different people, and not just Mike Payton or anybody else. I did not talk to Mike Payton, but paid attention to a story. It does seem like that's why MCDC ultimately made the selection. McDaniel, offensive genius. I think we all get that. But was going to rely more on the passing attack, and then Goff would take more hits. You'd use your running games less. You control the ground game less. That seemed to be the big difference as to why we went with one gentleman over the other one. And just because I can't get enough of this, The more I look into the guy, and I know he's still probably not a favorite for most of you guys, I do think Pretzing is a bit of an offensive mad genius, evil genius, especially when it comes to play action pass and controlling the ground game. He wasn't on anybody's radar. The Lions made sure this was a super secret interview. And yes, super secret, Dr. Evil, whatever you want to throw out there. But they kept it close to the chest, their cards. They wanted him. They were hoping to get him. He turned down apparently 5 other interviews to select the Detroit Lions. So let that sink in. He turned down a lot of different other opportunities. Come on in. You, me, everybody as a fan can have ideas about somebody, but because we don't know about them, we're probably a little emotionally biased against them. I don't know anything about this guy, so it must be a bad hire. It must be a stupid move. The only thing I would say is look back to the Gibbs and Campbell draft. Remember, all the media thought those were stupid hires. This is going to tank the Detroit Lions, wasted draft picks. There were a lot of fans that felt the same way because we didn't really know about them. Mock draft this, mock draft 2029 or whatever, all the different ones out there. None of them gave us information about Gibbs or Campbell. And how's that worked out for all those people that said that was a bad hire? I don't know if it will be a good hire. I don't know if it will be a bad hire. What I do know is from going in and paying attention to the film, I totally get it. Why MCDC want him. It fits the mantra of this team, the grit, whatever you want to say. And paying attention to Mike Payton's story, Ben Raven's story, and you can find probably 50 other people who wrote stories who actually did detailed analysis. It'd be one thing to be somebody on YouTube just yelling and screaming, hey, this was a horrible hire, this guy's an idiot or whatever. Then I'd have to ask that person, well, how much time have you really paid attention to their play structure, their calling, etc.? Because if you didn't do that, how are you able to have an opinion? And that would be my opinion to everybody watching. If you're not going to spend any time researching and doing actual study work to say this is why this guy was good or that one was higher, then you're just throwing darts at the board if you ask me. All right, last one here. It's not exactly a Detroit Lions news, but NFL Insider reveals how close Packers were to firing their coach. Washington Post report with this one. Apparently, the Packers nearly did what the Buffalo Bills did. They nearly fired their coach immediately after the playoff loss. Could it still happen? I would say probably not. They probably made their peace with it, and Matt LaFleur is going to stick around at least for one more season. It will be a make-or-break season, in my humble opinion, for Matt LaFleur. I throw this at you guys all the time. I've coached every different level of basketball there is on this planet, and it still holds true. I don't care where you coach, whether it's professionally, overseas, whatever. The moment you're pen to paper to be hired is the moment your clock's already starting to get fired. Matt LaFleur is probably he's on a hot seat, I think, than Dan Campbell. But I think this is true with both gentlemen. They're both on a hot seat going into next year. Dan Campbell, if this hire of Drew Prezzing doesn't work out and the Lions don't make a bit of a playoff push next year, he is probably going to be shown the door, and that's probably true with Matt LaFleur as well. All right, we've given you some detailed analysis of why the Lions went with one guy over the other, why Mike McDaniel sounds like he wasn't a fit because he is pass first, run second, which doesn't work for MCDC. Prezzing, paying attention to Mike Payton, Ben Raven, even some stuff by Dave Burkett, and again, making multiple phone calls, talking to different people. I think there's more evidence, and I get it. Until you get out there with the Detroit Lions and prove it, we don't know what we're going to get. But I think there's more and more evidence why the Detroit Lions selected him, because he is a bit of a mad scientist. He's got one heck of I really liked the structure of his ground game, how he used them. And considering what the Lions are going to have on the offensive line next year, we'll see if we get Linderbaum or somebody else. But what the parts that we know we have going into next year, I think it made a lot of sense. I can't say enough about his passing attack and his schemes, how he's going to use the tight ends, receivers, whatever, because I don't know. I don't know at this point. But just focusing on the ground game and how it sets up the play action pass, I think it's an ideal fit for Jared Goff. I think it's an ideal fit definitely for David Montgomery and Gibbs. Beyond that, we'll see how he uses the wide receivers, but let's also face this. I think you're going to have to really try hard to mess up this wide receiver group, because St. Brown, I don't know if you want to call him generational. We can call him a dang good NFL receiver. Jameis Williams does fit his systems just because of the speed and separation he gets, and so does Tesla. I think there could be some augmentations to the offense where maybe he doesn't use as many two tight end formations, because you got a three-headed monster receiver that no other NFL team really has. I can see where basically St. Brown becomes your second tight end in a lot of his setups and formations because he does run block incredibly well, and he works the middle of the field like Sam I am Laporta, which now means what we thought we were getting from John Morton last year, more kill shots deep shots down the field for Jameson Williams or Tesla. Those get to set up a little bit more. We'll see, but I like the more I studied the guy, the more I dived into it, the more I like the hire. So hopefully that sets in. All right, let's get over to the Duke Crew comment section and see what you guys have to say. Hopefully none of you guys are stuck on the road somewhere. I'm sure you all saw videos on news or social media about people trapped on, man, I know where we live, I-94 was shut down for big stretches. I know 131 was shut down for big stretches. I want to say I-96 and, probably a multitude of other highways were shut down because of the storm. And maybe they are today too. I don't know. Michael, grittiest salutations, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride, woo, and back at you. France, pretty good game last night, and even a fight afterwards. I did see that. Yeah, a lot of great talent for the Lions who consider the draft. I know we went through some ideas yesterday for if the Lions were going to make some selections based on the Indiana game or Miami game. There's a lot of great players out there. There's a reason why those teams are in the national championship. And hey, great game, wasn't a blowout, and kudos to Indiana doing something that hasn't been done apparently since I want to say the 1890s or 1880s, going 16-0 in college football. Hello, Bo Booth. Good morning, Duke Crew. Whose year is it? Hoosier. Hoosier it is. Woo! And back at you. France, I knew this was coming. Who's your daddy, Bo Booth? Let's see. Jess, heard yesterday McDaniel wanted to get the Lions gig. Yeah, me too. Heard that too. So why in the world did we not hire him? Well, you've heard my thoughts. I don't want to keep beating him up, but it does sound like MCDC wanted somebody who was run first, pass second, and not the opposite around. Sir, good morning, Coach and all Lions faithful. Back at you, my friend. Shamir, I just hope he's the right guy for the job. I mean, right now, I get it. Unlike John Morton, he's done it successfully for 3 years. And you can go look at just the raw data, the analytics of his job over in Arizona, and it's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all considering what he had to work with. Now, anytime you bring in a new hire, it is possible something can blow up in your face. So we'll have to wait and see. But the more I watch this film and talk to other people, the more I think I started understanding why MCDC did it. Let's see. Shamir, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew fam. Back at you. Gary, morning, everyone. And to you. Riley O'Brien, good morning, Duke Crew. 100%. We are strong. Hookadoo. Rise and shine, Duke Crew. One pride. Fight the good fight, Duke Crew. Hey, we're always out here fighting. Hopefully not with each other, though. Sierra Joe Lopez, what a greetings, salutations for Central Florida, Duke Crew. Exclamation points. Hopefully you're having better weather than we're having. I have faith in the talent on this roster and the injured players returning. Me too, my friend. Let's go, Super Bowl. Woo! Hey, I like the way you're thinking. Moonscar Blade, good morning, Duke Crew. Starting lineup. Exclamation point. Never fear, Moonscar Blade is here. Yes, you are, man. Hopefully you are doing well in the town so nice. They named it twice. Let's see. Hookadoo. Silver Surfer, Riley Bow, Carrie, Grit wins. Grit does win. Jen, good morning, all. Lions just drove fear into the hearts of the Packers, Bears, and Vikings with their new OC. Exclamation point. To your point, I think there might be some fear in them because the Lions always wanted to control the game on the ground. And to be fair, we even saw some games this year where we'd have 8-9 minute drives. I think that could become more the norm. I also believe if you're the Lions, you make this hire, you are definitely committing to developing the offensive line more. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Hope you all stay safe. Took me an hour to get to work today when normally it's 10 to 15 minutes. I know so just an example, we were going to have a game yesterday. It was canceled. Then we had the opportunity to have a practice. Our assistant athletic director is a part of the sheriff's department out in Van Buren County. So he was saying, man, it's white out everywhere. Pay attention to the roads. They're slick as can be and all that stuff. And then it's like 5 minutes after that, I think 29,000 different people sent me videos, drone footage of all the different highways shut down, miles of backup. I was like, yeah, stay home. We'll get a game in today if the weather allows it. See, Sierra Joe got the Lions did not want a 1 or 2 and done OC. That could also be a factor. This guy is here for at least the length of Brandon Dan's contracts. Exclamation point. Let's go. 100%. That could be a part of it. Silver Coach, I don't want to think. I need to hear Drew speak before I can say anything about him. But when I heard somebody on Woodward saying, quote, put a headband on this guy. Man, still laughing. Okay, I'll go with that. Moon Scar Blade says that stinks. Trey, I concur. Riley, Hookadoo, Silver, Bo, all of the above. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast with an exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Yeah, I might even have to try to traverse the bad weather to get a morning Mountain Dew. Riley O'Brien, going to be a great day, Trey. Let's hope so. Sierra Joe, as a man who fired my hair before it could quit, definitely needs to grow some facial hair. We'll see if they slap that on him. What did you guys think of the morning pop-up, though? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the comparison. David, everyone hates the unknown hire. If you believe DC knows what he's doing, then I like the hire. I'll go with that. Riley O'Brien, Henry Moore. Let's see, Xavier. Greetings, salutations, Coach Dan, and the fabulous Duke Crew. Hope everyone has a blessed day! Exclamation point. What a close game last night. It was a great game, wasn't it? Jess, greatest salutations. Duke Crew could care less about the hire other than can he do his job or not. We'll have to wait till the season to find out. There's no way to answer that prior to 100% at least. Bootscar Blade, this upcoming offseason and next regular season, I think is the most important one for Brad Holmes and MCDC. It will show us if they have what it takes to bounce back and build a good team into a great one. I like the way you were thinking, my friend. Hoodoo. Any more? Moonscar, top of the morning. Silver. Hookadoo, good morning, Mr. Hook. Exclamation point. What do you say about Dr. No here to being the new man? Sorry, fellows, I have been laughing a whole lot. Hey, good to have a laugh, all right? Let's see. Jimmy, greetings, salutations, Dan and crew, and to you. Moonscar Blade, good morning, Hookadoo, and the rest of the crew with an exclamation point. Henry Moore, good morning, Riley. Pierce, MCDC just tied his drop to Pretzing. I think that is accurate. I like the hire, I dislike the hire, but I think that is 100% correct. Look at Silver. I'm on the fence about it. It happens, my friend. Conan, do we know why McDaniel was not hired? Yeah, I think you've heard me talk about it now. Pierce, he can't go 1-4 in ONC hires and keep his job. Probably not indeed. Silver, Riley O'Brien, good to see you, sir. Exclamation point with some prayers and a pound for a lion. Let's see, Jen, agreed. Pierce, MCDC equals new OC. Might be. Any more good morning, my friend Hookadoo and Jen? Silver. Okay, Hookadoo, let's stay on the fence for a while. They say he fits Goff and Lions. I would agree with that. I do think there's a lot of reasoning. The more I watch some call plays, the ground game support, the play action, it made sense to me. Now you just got to make it work, right? Drake, whatever happened to Kurt Steele? Question mark. Never see him on here anymore. I think he's teaching now in the mornings, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe somebody else knows more, but I think that's right. Jimmy, I'm very upset with both MCDC and Brad for picking up this guy to run our offensive line. All right. Jen, good morning, Henry Moore. Big D, morning crew. I'm early this AM. How's everyone? Question mark. I like the hire. Dude had Arizona offense humming with not tools coming here. And all of a sudden he's got 3 Ferraris and a few Lamborghinis. That's probably actually very correct. Pierce, Jen, this hire also strikes me as MCDC not wanting to give up play calling. Yeah, that I don't know. Hookadoo, Silver, but my gut tells me we should have gone with McDaniel. Susan, why Hookadoo? Question mark. Pierce, Hookadoo, I wanted Dable. Hey, yeah, everybody wanted to go in a different direction, for sure. Jen, exactly, but it could be his end at Detroit if the offense coordinator is another morning. All right, Dave. Hookadoo, good morning, Jen. We got grit, exclamation point. Jimmy, I wonder why the Lions didn't want him. Fair question. Kerry, I think the pick will work out great. He had time in the division. Knows the Vikings real well, and will be here a while. Won't be arguing with what Campbell wanted to do. I think it was great. Yeah, there you go. Hey, some positive thinking there. Any more? I have the same feeling, Hookadoo. Just can't put my finger on it. All right, we'll try to avoid putting fingers on it then. Sierra Joe McDaniels was openly wanting a good head coaching gig. Why go through this all over again next year? That also could be a contributing factor. If this guy works, he'll be here 3 to 4 years minimum. Jen, good morning, Hookadoo. You got that right, Grit. Rock, good morning, Duke Crew. Silver. Pierce, don't you say that about Dan wanting to keep play calling. Exclamation point. Because that's the same fear I had. Your thoughts are adding to it. Steve Rogers, Pretzing doesn't work out. The staff is gone. I think that's probably a conclusion we're all going to come to. This hire needs to work. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of people out of Detroit. Gary, move for a long-term solution. Hookadoo, Susan, I keep going back and forth on it. Jen, it is not about McDaniels. It was about so many others in line for the offense coordinator job. Coach Rock, I don't know if anyone noticed, but Stafford didn't wear the sissy gloves and even his counterpart didn't wear gloves in that frigid night in Chicago. All right. Pat Rock, whoever the OC is with the team needs the new offensive line. Steve, good morning, coach and Duke crew. Explanation right. It's colder than a well digger shovel in southeast Michigan. Can't wait for the explanation about the art of the new OC. Go Lions in 26. Woo! And back at you, Steve. Hopefully you're staying warm. Sierra Joe, what's done is done. Let's solidify our offensive line and get to a Super Bowl run. Exclamation point. No use crying over spilled milk. No, I couldn't say that better, man. He's here. Now I support him because you know what? If not, then I'm actually going against the team. Silver Hookadoo, unfortunately, I had the same feeling. Exclamation point. Hope Campbell doesn't think all of a sudden that he himself is an offensive genius and wants Brett Singh as a sidekick. Yeah, we'll find out, right? Coach Rock, my son said that to me that after the OC hiring, that was the same. The Lions are going back to their old ways, showing this hiring must have been a general dollar store hiring. I don't know. The only thing I can say, Coach Rock, is it does sound like from different reports, there were 5 other teams actively pursuing to hire him. So, I mean, somebody else liked him, I guess. Tori, why hasn't anyone hired McDaniel? Question mark. Something we don't know about him keeping teams away? Fair question. Hookadoo, Great morning, Rock. You shoveling more snow today? I know I'll be after the show. Jimmy, Mike McDaniel was a much better fit than this guy. We're so doomed, and if we can't get to the promised land next year, then Sheila needs to clean house and get rid of everyone. Maybe she will. Hey, more. It might have just come down to Brad's dollars and cents. Dollars and cents indeed. Dennis, good morning, all. Exclamation point. Jen, really hope this is like when Brad makes his draft picks and everyone hates them. There you go. But they turn out to be all pro. I can't see what the rest of this is. All right, I'm guessing there's a graphic there that maybe didn't pop up. Campbell calling plays hinders his overall game management. He needs to step up and let Prez play dispenser handle it. Let's see if he does, Sierra. There you go. So, ain't lying. What's done is done. But, Sierra, you should know us Lions fans love crying over spilled milk. Okay, go with that. Stephanie Wilder, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Stay home and stay off the roads. If you are able, go Lions. Yeah, 100% there. Gary, Patrick, 2 incoming. Coach Rock, Hookadoo, yep, just done shoveling. Jimmy, I'm not on board with this one. Heck, he may have done well just to have kept John Morton as OC. You know, hey, what we do know is Denver hired him, Morton, and as soon as he was fired, I mean, like, literally, he was out of work for like maybe 5 minutes. K Long, hope the new hire works better than Morton. Probably accurate. Let's see Henry Moore. Great advice, Stephanie. Good morning to you. Silver. I like the nickname you got for him, Sierra. That changes everything. I am not kidding. The Pez. All right. The Pez is here. Queen Mary, good morning to crew. Back at you, Sierra. John Morton was off reading in a Ferrari. He had no clue how to properly use his talent. Maybe true. Myron, good Dan and Duke crew. I'm upset they didn't pull the plug on Mike. Yeah, and I can only tell you what I found out. Pass it on to you guys. Everybody comes to their own conclusions. But Drew's going to be under some scrutiny this year for sure. So, sir, man, that nickname just wiped away my concerns, the press. Jen, the time to start work. Everyone have a great day. Enjoy your work day. Hookadoo, the Prez Candy Machine, Silver Server, good morning, Mary Smith. And good morning, Henry. Coach Rock, good morning, Mary. Silver Surfer, I remember that. Sierra, I mean, doesn't he look like a Pez dispenser? A little bit. Forget bobbleheads, Pez dispensers. I wonder if they'll give those out at Ford Field for games because, man, you got a marketing ploy right there. David, H&S, Coach Dan, Heads and Shoulders, Coach Dan, the Duke crew. Woo! Let's go, lads. I'll go with that. Good to see you this morning. David is cold. Hookadoo, Queen Mary, Grit Morning. How about that? JK, Johnny Saltmore and Drew Pretzel. Isn't that a great pair of salt sprinkled on a pretzel? Hey, yeah, I messed up and called him pretzel yesterday, but it happens, man. Queen Mary, good morning, guys. I'm just going to listen in this morning. Nothing wrong with that. Stay warm, though, Queen. Dennis, after I threw a fit for a bit last night, I finally decided we need to wait and see how Prez pans out. After all, we did have a winning record with Morton. Yeah, well, I'll go with that. Any more? Good morning, Silver. Any more? Good morning, Queen Mary. Jen, Prez is cold. It is. Jimmy, just might sell off my season tickets this year. All right, everyone, I have to get some sleep. I have an appointment that I have to attend to. Hey, get some sleep, my friend, and let's see how this guy pans out. So, sir, Jimmy, James, you know we all got this funny feeling around here that I don't know type of feeling that you're about to laugh, though. You don't want to laugh, but you can't hold it, all right? Oh, don't hold it in. Laugh out loud, my friend. David, I like Hutch Jr.'s take about not hiring a coach who would likely be a one season and done. Yeah, there could be that aspect, too. MCDC wanted stability at the offense. Not, hey, let's have a great year and then move on and get back to hiring. Coach Rock, for some reason, hearing from the coaches around here, those dreaded three letters, SOL. All right, we'll find out about that. Gary, good morning. Hope everyone is well. Back at you, Hoogadoo. James, great morning. I wouldn't sell them off just yet. You never know. This could be our year. Exclamation point. Very good words. Leonard, good morning. Dan, the Duke Crew. Been a minute. Woo! Hope all is well, Coach. Exclamation point. And back at you. Hopefully you're doing very well, my friend. Justin, what do you got? I can't wait for another 9-win season next year with this dog hire. I don't know, man. I'm kind of liking the hire. Mike P, awful hire. We'll find out. Let's see. Mark Royal, what do you got? This new OC will not work out. The Lions will be in the same position next year. Hey, we'll see, my friend. Striving for mid. All right. Kerry, yes, awful hire. Mike is not feeling well. Pierce, and if we are in the same spot next year, I'm calling for Brad and Dan to be fired. Let's be real. I mean, I don't care if you like the hire or not. If this doesn't work out, Pierce, you're probably right. They're probably all out of here. Jimmy, you're right. Silver. Sean, what do you got? A virus? What do you got? Cheap hire? Might be. Mark, Dan wants to call plays. Maybe that is accurate. Leonard, I think Mike and Dan would have been a headache. By the way, just your opinion. Could be accurate. Sir, that's who I was thinking about. What was his name? The evil man in Austin Powers. That would be Dr. Evil. Let's see. Cedric, what do you got? Dan is not trying to hire somebody smarter than him. Okay. Easy. Hang on to your seats, guys. We'll hold on to them. Trim Reaper, good morning, Coach Dan and the Mighty Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Cody, good morning, y'all. Hoping for the best with the hire. Don't know much about him. Yeah, and the only thing I can say, guys, is, talking to people, watching some film, I get the hire. I mean, it seems like Dan Campbell wants to control the ground game and set up play action pass, something Drew does well. Courtney, good morning, Duke Crew. Check out Arizona's offense stats, better than Detroit's last year. Woo! And yes, I would say with not nearly as good as personnel. Now, I will say, though, I think their offense line overall was better than Detroit's, but not with some individual areas. Coach Rock, MCDC has gone with his gut a couple of times and blew it. He better start listening to the Duke Crew to get it right. All right. We'll see how that goes. Dre Day, what do you got? Half the fan base just sold their season tickets after this hire, and I'm looking for the best deal. Go Lions. Hey, that could be the positive of it. You might be able to get some cheaper prices for Ford Field. Avery T, good morning, Dan the Duke Crew. I heard that Brad and Dan didn't think McDaniels was the right fit. Doesn't make sense to me. Well, now you know, and no one's has a battle. Chen, what do you got? Are rooting for the first 0-17 more likely than winning the Super Bowl? All right, fair enough. JC, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. Exclamation point. Don Burr, fans so quick to holler. Bad hire, except never watched film, never broke down an all 22 clip, except pure overreaction. I might go there with that because he isn't the popular man name ESPN suggested. And that's, I know I mentioned that already earlier in the show, and use the analogy of Gibbs and Campbell when they were drafted. The only thing I can say, guys, is just because you don't know somebody doesn't mean they're bad. I mean, nobody knew Ben Johnson until you knew Ben Johnson. Nobody believed in the knucklehead we're going to bite off kneecaps in MCDC until he actually got out there and did some stuff. So, well, the only thing I'd say is I watched some films. I came to a conclusion. Doesn't have to be your conclusion, but, maybe just spend some time watching the guys' calls and play structures. Gary, I remember before Ben started, everybody said, what the heck are they doing? They are not going anywhere. This guy hasn't even stepped in front of a microphone, and people are condemning the hire. I mean, it happens, right? Storm, what do you got? Cheap hire, high price tickets. Maybe. JK, dumpster dive for free pizza when I heard about the new OC was hired. Really pleasant for me. Hey, I like free pizza, so let me know where you're diving. I'm going for it, man, especially with some hot sauce. Kerry, talk about walking into stuff. I'll go with that. Chin, don't have two serviceable tight ends currently. Not currently, but probably by the start of next year. Rock, yesterday, watched a lot of film on this new hire, and boring is the word. Hey, all right. Gary, receipts. All right. Keep your receipts. You might be able to get some good deals then. Silver, yeah. Exclamation point. Dr. Evil. That was the name. I was still stuck with Sean Connery in 007. All right. Don Bird. Keeping all the screenshots of the main fans calling this hire horrible, trash, etc. Yeah, if you can, keep those. And hey, about 8 games in the season, we should have enough evidence then what our true opinions of him is going to be. Doesn't mean he can't always get better or worse, but you probably got a fair amount of evidence at that point. Martinez, what do you got? T. Martin, I'll go with that. Cedric, let's face it, our team is cheap. Exclamation point. Our team is into profits, not winning Super Bowls. All right. Avery T. So if McDaniels was not the right fit, who is? Question mark. Was Davenport the right fit? Was Peoples-Jones the right fit? Come on, man. These guys need more talent and people that know what they're doing. I get it. You miss on a few things. I mean, the only thing I can say is they've hit on a lot of draft picks. They've hit on some free agent picks. They've hit on some hires. Doesn't mean they've hit on everyone. The only way I know if this one's going to work is if we get through next year, and then we can accurately assess the situation. Jim, we got Sean McDermott made it to a championship games. How about that? Phil, so they need a top OC, grabbed another project. Maybe. Easy. That's a great idea. Laughing out loud. T. Martinez, what do you got? DP doesn't assemble a Bond villain. Haha. All right. Now, Donovan Peoples. There we go. Oh, yeah. Drew Pretzley. There we go. Don Burr. Team cheap, but spent $500 million on resigning their players. Shake my head. Yeah, it could be that too. Server, Don Burr. We are just playing around, Don. We'll stay on the fence like Hookadoo said. Never lose hope. Ooh, don't sit on a fence. Time will tell on the Lions' new OC. Probably accurate. Maybe sounds like Dan wants yes men. No, I think Dan Campbell just takes whatever they do. I come up with my opinion. You know, you don't have to go with my opinion, clearly. But I'm just going to say, come with your own opinion. The only thing I'd say is I watch film. I listen to some people. What I saw in the film, I got why MCDC want him. Now, you got to make it work. That doesn't mean that I liked it or not. It's just I can see why. All right, Thomas, let's get back to Sonic and Knuckles! Exclamation point. That's how we were 15-2. We're built to run and set up play action. If that's a good goal here, I'm 100% in. All right, Phil. It's like needing Jeep to buy a Kia. All right, I'll go there. I start not spending money in the right places. Oh, we're looking for money in all the wrong places, aren't we? Robert, we could be watching the return of the same old Lions. I swore I wouldn't even talk about the Lions until August. Tiger season is getting ready for spring training. Burr seeing this. Higher same old Lions back. We'll find out, man. We'll find out. Paris Don Burr, my main thing is, as we discussed, MCDC has to get this right. Going 1-4 on OC hires is not good. Okay, yeah, I would agree. He's got to do better with the OCs. David, geez, you can't judge a book from its cover. Let's let things play out before you start hating on this move. That's what I would go with it, but hey, everybody's going to handle it differently. Martinez, we hire an OC and with Ben Johnson connections, desperate, gross, or crazy. Inquiring minds want to know. Pierce, but again, if this goes wrong, MCDC has a lot to explain to. He'll probably be explaining to the unemployment line. Taylor, so Burkett got the scoop. There was, I think you can see Taylor Made, by the way, one of the OGs of the chat. There are a bunch of people that, now that you gave some time with the news to reach out to different people, got some stuff on it, and it sounds like Dave Burkett got some good information on it. Easy, 1-4 in OCs. We'll find out, my friend. Pierce, easy. If this goes wrong, I am saying Dan got 1 out of 4 OC hires right. Avery T. So what happens when you can't run the ball in one particular Sunday? Are you going to just keep trying to pound the ball or take what the defense gives you? Come on, man. Let's be smart here. I mean, I get what you're saying. All I can say is I get why, or at least I think I understand why MCDC wanted to hire him. Phil, is Ben still showing some loyalty to Dan Campbell with helping with this pick? Maybe. I mean, they say they're good friends still, so there's that. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to beat his friend or vice versa. Server, please, Dan Campbell, stay out of play calling and let the Prez do his thing. Told you, after that presser, Dan wanted to keep calling plays. I would like very much to be wrong. Will accept everything. Yeah, and you do see across the NFL and probably most levels of football, if you're the head coach, you do call offense or defensive plays. There are very few MCDCs that stay neutral and just don't do that. So, I mean, look across the NFL, a lot of the teams that are still in the playoffs, you've got a coach that does one or the other. Most of them are offensive. Dream River, let's go, Hassanine! Exclamation point. Easy. Oh, gotcha. Hey, good to have something. JK, don't worry, Coach Dan. We're not calling games after 5 games. Wait, we'll find out. Thomas, P.S. Also, as of now, going forward, no more projects, trade picks package 5, 6, 7 for higher picks or free agents. Maybe. Mark, Uncle Mega Fester mine. I could have thought of that one too. Yeah, Uncle Fester. Instead, I just went with the evil genius. At least that's kind of what I'm hoping. Huggado Pierce, if it goes wrong, unfortunately, MCDC will be looking for a new team. Sheila laid down the law, probably with an exclamation point. JK plays. Pierce, easy. Anthony, Lynn, failure. Morton, failure. And if this goes wrong, that's 3 out of 4 failures. Yeah, I actually thought Morton did some good things. I just thought once the middle of the offensive line got exposed, that's where I think MCDC was like, man, it can't be the offensive line's that bad, and they stepped in because I didn't think there was a lot of change from one to the other, but, obviously MCDC did. I see Madley. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew, with a thumbs up. Hey, good afternoon to you, my friend in Cairo. Kerry, Team Martinez, finally someone that's rational. Hey, you got to like rational people. Bets going on how soon MCDC snatches play calling from Dr. Evil. Week 6. We should get a pool going on for that. That's a great idea. Cody, Decker's been a warrior, but we can't have players not practicing and then possibly missing games. No more injured players. Yeah, and unfortunately, to your point, Cody, I just think Father Time and 10 years in the NFL plus, all the years in college, it wears on a body. Most don't make it as long as he does, and he's done a phenomenal job for the Detroit Lions while here. Bears Huggado, I'll be on that side if it goes wrong. MCDC would have lost my trust. Huggado, I say I'm going to turn heads. The man is a freaking beast. Exclamation point. I think he's going to turn some heads. Thomas Decker or anyone thinking about retiring must let the team know by March 1st. I would think that too. I think the Lions learned their lesson last year. At least I hope so. Mark, this is why I wanted Decker traded 2 years ago. I can see that. Phil, not sure it was a case of wanting to play with Ragnow. It was a case of family and lifestyle. Could be all the above, right? Cody, I wouldn't mind taking a quarterback this year later, especially if one drops. Yeah, maybe what they do. Server. Gary, JK, Dre Day, good morning. Exclamation point. We got the Prez. We get the Prez. Easy. And don't forget to, he hired one of the best OCs in football. I agree. Though it has to work. It has to work indeed. Hasi Madley, good morning to all my friends and all fans of Lions Talk Live, and good afternoon to you, JK, server. That's what's good, buddy? Exclamation point. Let's see, Brandon William, puke. All right, puke indeed. Hey, sorry you're not feeling well. Hookadoo, great afternoon, Mr. Hassanine. Avery T, I want the best coach for the job, not a coach that loves to run the ball all the time. I want a coach that makes decisions according to what the defense gives them. Exclamation point. Dan made a bonehead move a lot. All right, we'll go there. Same old soup, just reading. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Tardy but present. Always good to have you. Brendan, maybe we just got Jay Connor to replace Monty if the trade Monty. We'll see if they do that. Maybe we can. Server. Hassi Malley, good afternoon in Cairo. 1,000%. Good afternoon, Mr. Hassim from Henry Moore. Pierce, easy. I also agree, but again, 3 out of 4 bad hires is a terrible look. Well, we'll see if it does. If not, he's 500. How about that? Easy, smart, intelligent, detailed drives on the run game, which was our weakness. I could see this working. I'm hoping it does work because you know what? I want the team to be good. Phil, thing is, if McDaniel saves this team, he might take the head coaching job from MCDC. Maybe, I guess that's something that's possible. Thomas, my bet Decker does not retire just yet, nor should he, in my opinion. Decker will come back and fulfill his contract. He is right now our best option next year. That's just fact. Prepare for 2027. Easy. Could be 2-2. Don't forget the first season we had a roster that only won 3 games. Kind of tough to succeed. Yeah. In fairness to Anthony Lynn, you didn't really have any NFL level wide receivers. I mean, St. Brown, I get later in the year he developed. But Goff had that. The offensive line was kind of in flux. He didn't really have a running game. It's hard to score if he can't throw the ball and he can't run the ball. You know, he can't pass block, he can't run block. Dennis, we have an elite receiver roster. We need to be a dual threat team. I agree with that. Not strictly a run team. No, I agree with what you're just saying there. Every team don't get the Super Bowl because of Dan's bonehead moves. If we don't make the playoffs because of Dan's decisions, that has to stop. Yeah, to your point, think if we don't make the playoffs and probably do something in the playoffs, he's probably out of here after next year. Okay, AZ had nobodies and a great team here in Detroit. Just need to fix the interior offensive line. I would go with that. We're going to do Sonic and Knuckles is a must, exclamation point. Till the last year, they always got it done. They did indeed. Easy, have it to wait to see to know one knows nothing. Correct. We know nothing yet. Phil, does this mean Monty stays? Probably doesn't hurt, right? Silver Server, JK. I was laughing hard yesterday, especially when I heard somebody screaming, put a headband on them. I really hope they put together a good season, playoffs and all. Me too. Martinez, don't get why the Lions organization rushed to make OC hire, why Drew Pretzing's name wasn't kept quiet, why so secretive. That I don't know. I don't have an answer for you there. Thomas, I did see last night Miami and Indiana, some players that we could use for sure. Yes, there were some good players out there. Ezra Gray, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. I like the OC. This move might have us trying to bring back Montgomery and drafting Robinson. All could be true, for sure. Phil, what's the future for Fraley? That I don't know. JK is skull face with a wig on, all right? Mark, run game, question mark. Hasn't Arkham been one of the best running backs attacks in the Arizona, been one of the best running attacks in the NFL? Question mark. This is all about Dan wanting to call plays. Maybe. We'll find out. I don't know. Cody, I watched film breakdown for McDaniel. He runs a ton of screens. After that, my hype from was lower. And that could be part of it. You know, as a coach, I can only say this. I don't like plays behind the line of scrimmage. I just think a lot goes against you. When they hit, I get it. You catch people out of position. Lions don't have good success with that, unfortunately, in recent years. Jacob Boyer, well, the Tesla pickup makes no sense now. I don't know. We'll find out. Server is laughing. Easy. About keeping our playbook intact, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Cody, our wide receivers. Leonard, without an offensive line, this man genius is going to fail. Yeah, you're going to have to adjust the offensive line, but I think that's part of their plans. Cody, our wide receivers should be Tessa and Williams on the outside, Saint in the slot. You know, I know I mentioned earlier, I do think because of our situation at tight end, you're probably going to see St. Brown more or less be a tight end in certain situations. Him and Sam I am working inside, and then Tesla, Williams outside. Phil, we're missing 2 third-round draft picks this year for a kid that got a handful of catches. He did, but I also told this out there. His stats aren't really much different than Calvin Johnson or Herman Moore's rookie year. So I not many wide receivers as rookies come out and do much. He scored way more touchdowns than most NFL wide receivers as rookies. I guess we can go with that. Walt Marks, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke crew. Woo! Back at you. Martinez, 32 teams and half aren't bad, so 5 other desperate teams seeking presence doesn't mean much, okay? JK, the resurrection of Sonic Knuckles could be true. Don Bird, guy is walking into a buzzsaw situation. First game we lose, fans will holler. I told you, man, we should be 8-0, not 9-1. Hey, man, if you're afraid of that, don't get into coaching, man. Don't get into coaching because, I mean, I'm blessed. In the 36 years I've coached, we've won over 90% of the games, and I can tell you people still call for my head all the time. Just part of the course. Gary, I knew when McDaniels left Detroit, he wasn't coming back here. You aren't telling Dan how you're going to have control of other aspects of the team. All right, ABT. Daniels did choose a pass more. He just took what the defense gave him. Miami ran quite a bit. He never forced it. It wasn't working, and that's what Dan did. Don't force the ball. Okay, I'll go there. Phil, how is your team doing this year, Coach? Man, we're pretty beat up. We lost 2 starters first 4 games, moved up some younger players. I like how they're growing and developing. They really work their butts off, and I like working with kids that like to work hard. So I'm happy for that. Martinez did do research on Uncle Fester uninspired. Fair enough. Johnny Gaz, good morning. Dan and Duke crew, exclamation point. Back at you, Gaz, man. Hopefully the weather isn't as bad for you. All right, guys, we got like 5 minutes left. I'm going to power through, get people on who haven't been on as much. I'll tell you, watching the fans and media reaction, YouTubers, 90% of them have no idea if this is good or poor hire. They don't know his name, so it must be bad like you explained. Yeah, and that's just what I've come to learn as a coach or, a journalist working for, stuff. If people don't know it, must be wrong. And the only thing I can say is after watching a bunch of film on him, I got the hire. All right, Phil, who handles the passing game this season? I would think the OC does. That's my opinion, though. Let's see, Walt, Made a live show for a change. Woo! Glad you did. Cody, Laporta might have crazy stats next year. Yeah, he will probably be a beneficiary for sure. Drew, good morning. Dan, the Duke Crew, exclamation point. I like the hire. I'm warming up to it. Easy. Yeah, me or you could call plays if we have a top 5 offense with this roster. Maybe we should. Let's see, Attila, and calling their reach a Google search and looking for Wikipedia. That could be also what people did to research. JK, a lot of school closures too. Yeah, around here everything's closed. JK, draft gonna be good. I hope so. Phil, 4 degrees here. You're pretty warm, my friend. I don't have it on my computer screen, but I want to say it was like 7 degrees here. All right, Mark, Carlos made the playoffs since he was the OC. Well, is that the OC's fault or is the talent fault? I don't know. Not bad equals mid. I'll go there. Don Burr, Arizona fans hate everything. Their team stinks from top to bottom. There could be a lot of truth to that. And just think about the quarterback situation there. Whew. Mark, fear Lions were 2-4 in the division, but we were the only team to sweep the Bears. I'll go with that. Daniel, talking with Cardinals fans, I know in Arizona, they could not wait for us to get him out of here. Yes, run game is his thing, but he did not care about the line or receivers. Okay. Hassanine Medley, good morning, Cynthia, Jen, Queen Mary, let's see, Mary Smith, all the above. How about that? Attila, 100% Denver, everything stunk in Arizona. Yeah, I mean, you had a backup quarterback in. You had a lot of injuries across the board there, so wait and see. How about that? Stream Chef, Egghead OC. Hey, maybe that is true. King Este, gotta get a world-class center. Tyler or bust. I'm down with that. Let's make that happen. JK, AZ had nobody's on offense, and heaven will fix that. All right. Let's see. Carl, good morning, coach. Exclamation point. Stay safe, everyone. I'm in Pennsylvania. It's negative 8 degrees here. Man, stay warm, man. I agree, coach. The new OC is a good fit for the offensive line, but we must draft offensive line so he can develop them. I agree with that. I personally would like to see us do free agency versus the draft, but I guess you're splitting hairs with what you do and how you fix it. Cody, exactly. Thomas, offense was the only reason we were in games. I wanted a veteran defense coordinator more. All right, Coach Rock. Don, you're saying that they said don't let the door hit you, the sun don't shine on your way out of here, Drew. I heard people say the opposite thing. So, and therein lies the problem. Some people like somebody, some people hate somebody. You're going to find that at all levels. And, Coach, you know that. To somebody, everybody thinks you're the greatest coach. There are other people think this guy is a complete idiot. He should have never been into coaching. And come on, if you coach for any length of time, you know that. Until then, glad he came from Kevin Stefanski coaching tree, and he likes to use 12-man personnel and the run. Yeah, it's something I think the Lions want more of. King, what do you got? Give Tyler $25 million a year? It might take that to get him. Hassanine Madley, good morning, Mr. Hoogadu, Silver Server, JK, and everybody else on the list. Carl McDaniels wants too much cash. That could be also part of it. Leo, why didn't we want him? What happened? Now you don't. JK, great morning, Mr. Hassanine. Up north, I just want to know how big the Lions conference room is for all the experts in the chat to be a part of the interview process. There could be that too. Phil, he seems to be a distraction. Who's that? I guess maybe I missed something. Sorry. Eric, hey, man, talking about somebody I haven't seen in a minute. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew, and back at you. Thomas, Super Bowl, Seattle versus New England. Don't want that, but there it is. It's got a good shot at being it. Let's see. Hart, man, another person I haven't seen how to say it. Good morning, Duke Crew, Coach Dan. Hey, JK, good morning, and all the above. Carrie, thank you, Brian. I felt exactly the same way. It's good to have people feel the same way, right? Steven, what do you got? Greetings, salutations, Dan, Duke Crew, go Lions to the Super Bowl. Yes, let's get there. I would like that very much. Thomas, hit the like, y'all, if you would. Leo, so the OC is a bootleg Ben Johnson. There's some evidence of that for sure. Attila, love people hate the hire, but if you ask them why, they can't give you a real football-related reason why it's good, bad, fit. They just don't like the fact it wasn't the person they wanted. Yeah, there's some of that for sure. Eddie, don't think the Lions didn't hire McDaniel because there may have been difference of opinions between McDaniels and Coach Campbell. Maybe. It's definitely a possibility. Up north, Drew was the best man at Ben's wedding. Ben was a groomsman at Drew's wedding. Hey, there's some inside information. Mayo man, what do you got? I just wish Jared Goff was a mobile quarterback. He has been improving at it. I mean, still maybe not the speedster. Detroit Yates, what do you got? I don't think people understand he is good. I've seen Kyler in real life. to make plans for a man, and it worked effectively. Made good quarterback out of Jacob. Man, I can't even say that right now. Shows what your right quarterback he can produce. Yeah, I think he did work with some parts that weren't ideal. Phil, someone make Dan Thornton a bobblehead. Somebody do that. Let me know about that. Harps, new OC is supposed to be good at the running game and tight ends. We will see. We will have to see. I don't know yet. Let's see. PR, what do you got? Let's just see what happens. Like that, he's a run-first mentality. Some will like it, some will not. Eric, everyone keeps saying this guy works out. He will be here 2 to 3 years, but if he scores 35 points a game, he will be gone after this year because other teams will poach him for the new head coach. Hey, to your point, it's part of the situation. If you're going to be good and you're going to break out, you're the unknown product. Everybody now thinks you're the hot name. People will be after you. Wonder if Goff has anything to do with the hire? That's a good question, my friend. Lions Talk Live fan, Goff did. Ooh, there's your answer. Manfred Vogel, what again? I'm hoping for the best, preparing for to be as bad as Marcus Hemport experiment. Let's hope it's not that bad. Phil, happy I bought silver for years now. Hey, you should be enjoying that extra ching in your cup. Jameson, good morning. Does anyone think that the Lions didn't sit down and go over every play he called in Phoenix? Question mark. He's a perfect fit for the Lions philosophy. Might be. JK, word same here. Harp, back at you, JK. Full Slate Farms fired Dan Campbell. Some will say that. Let's see. Other people haven't been on as much. Full Slate Dan Campbell is at Applebee's meathead. Who knows? Who knows indeed, my friend. I say, Manley, we trust General Manager Holmes and Coach Dan of this hearing. Go Lions. Hey, go Lions indeed. It would be best for the team. Look at a few others and got to get out of here. Cody, yeah, I agree. Dan could be gone next year if the all-season moves don't work out. Yeah, it's part of coaching. You're hired to be fired. Big M, if Ben and Drew are so close to Drew, is such a good coach, why isn't Drew on Ben's staff in Chicago? Could be that because he knows Ben Johnson wants to be the OC, does call the plays, so does that really fit for him? And, only he can answer that. Let's see, Eric. The OC uses wide receivers less than any other OC, so I hope he can keep St. Brown, Jameson, Tesla happy. Yeah, I'm guessing he'll have to make some adjustments. Dr. Any Ferris State University also went 16-0. How about that? Way to give them a local team a shout-out, my friend. Extreme Shaft. The Lions got taken advantage of. Looking back at Stafford's trade, they should have got more. I mean, it is what it is at this point. Cody, we need to solve the injury problems. I think that means get rid of these injury-prone players. Maybe that's what they do. All right, well, just a couple more here. Drew, I'm taking a wait-to-see approach until at least the fourth game. By then, we'll know what we have in the guy. Yeah, that's a fair way to be. Fair way to be indeed. McLean, what do you got? The Lions will need to return to losing only if they listen to the clueless fan base. It could be. There could be some evidence. Kim, the Lions listen to fan comments and wishes they would be bankrupt and in the last place. Always easy to have opinions when there's no actual consequence to the decision. We had a down year, Super Bowl 27. I like the way you're foretelling the future. Gary, I want it won't matter what the OC is unless we get a better offensive line. That's probably a big factor of it. King, AZ did not score over 27 last year. Wasn't humming. AZ stunk on offense. Yeah, is that because they're parts of the OC? That I don't know. Avito, injured players, question mark. What player on the Lions or any other NFL team doesn't get injured? The vast majority of 20 to 50% of the time injured in their career, that is the NFL. It is the NFL. Good call there. Virgil, I bet Dan Campbell spoke to Ben about this choice. Perez was Ben were together a while back. Inside thoughts. Probably did give him some inside information. Riley O'Brien, Lions Talk Live is working out and strong, 100%. I'll take that. We'll be working out after the show. Riley, yo! Exclamation point. McLeon, nothing tires out a good defense faster than a good running game. That is probably very accurate. Rick, Linderbaum. Yeah, I hear if you say his name enough times, he will appear in the mirror for you. Dr. Detroit, Super Bowl bound, exclamation point. We better get players this year or a line I said last year. It's a wrap. Yeah, probably got to fix that up just a little bit. Jameson, Kevin Stefanski was going to be hired the Prez. Hey, there you go. You had to beat him to it. Kim, I don't think MCDC will call plays. Prez has experience. He does. Dr. Detroit, Tesla is a good wide receiver, but did we need a wide receiver or left tackle defensive end? No. Okay. Big M. This team isn't going anywhere if Brad doesn't get busy in this offseason and fix the trenches. Probably accurate. Dr. Troy, big yes, sir. All right. Good to have people agree. All right, guys, I gave you a little extra time. Sorry I couldn't get more, but got to get out of here and get ready for work and everything else in between. Hey, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Also, you've been so kind before you depart, hit the thumbs up button. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. If there is other breaking news later today, I'll get to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, man, brace for impact with this cold. Stay warm, stay safe, and help each other out. Get through it. See you guys all on the very next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. Have a phenomenal and warm, safe day.